I think we're fucked now. Either way, like because
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, it's not even a hatred thing. It's not that I don't want to see English people happy. It's not even that deep. It's just having to hear about it during the Premier League season
Yeah.
for the next year, and
Yep.
because the World Cup is so close, it'll be so on the back of it'll be now either getting to the
Yeah.
final or winning the Euros. So like it's going to be non-stop. It's over now. It doesn't
It's yeah.
matter. We're going to hear about this forever and ever because this is the first
Mm-hmm.
final in European Championships or World Cup since '66. So it's
Yep.
it doesn't matter anymore now. It's our fate is
Well,
sealed. We're done.
even if they lose now, then it's going to be. If they lose, we're going to hear about it even more forever because it's going to be like,
Mm,
oh, what if? Oh, we were so
yeah,
close. It's over. It's done. It's not like on to the next one. This is now the one that they're going to talk about forever.
yeah. And I was thinking about this as well because you're right in saying like it's the what ifs that you hear most about. Like if they win,
Mm.
would it be better for them to win? Like, would they finally get over it?
No. Judging from how they've been getting to the final in the last week, some of the things Gary Neville and them have been saying has been they've lost the run of themselves. Like they've literally turned their back on things they believe in. All the like VAR and diving stuff has been insane.
But do you think if they won it, like, because I was looking at like the winners of it and the people who got to the final, like when we were saying, oh, Russia should get their act together, the Soviet Union, which obviously is a different kind of in terms of state, endorsement and investment, it is a different thing, but nevertheless, they've got to four finals. Obviously, Spain, France, uh, Italy haven't won it. I don't think. Maybe Italy have won it.
Don't think
I don't
they've
think they
won the
have actually,
Euros. Yeah.
but they've gotten to finals. Like all the other major like say big population European countries who care about football have all at least gotten the final, if not won it. Now England are at that table. If they win it, because I think because they're so brash and because they're so loud, it's
Yeah,
insecurity.
100%.
Like it is. It's kind of like they feel they should be there, but they know in
Yeah.
their hearts they're not. So if they actually win it, they can finally relax and calm down. Like, all right, like okay, you lost your virginity. All right, now you see it's not that big a deal. Now you can relax about it. Now it can just be a normal thing. Every time there's a competition, it can be a normal thing for you, like everybody else. Or am I crazy? Am I just like grasping straws
It's
here?
hard to tell because it is kind of like when Liverpool won the league. Like, remember that was the whole thing of I know for United fans being like, "Oh God, no, they'll never fuck up about it." As soon as they won it, it's like, who cares? I don't give a shit really. It's on to the next one.
Yeah,
So hopefully it's kind of like that for them.
yeah. I don't know, and maybe because I think like other years when Liverpool did badly, it was much more kind of reactive and like this team's going nowhere. Like I remember they were saying we should sack Jurgen Klopp like
Yeah.
maybe year two because they hadn't really made any strides towards it, and then they won. Last year, and then with Van Dijk and injuries, like them's the breaks.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more mature about it because, like, look, it is what it is. You can't win everyone. So I'm hoping that's look, I'd still rather Italy
Oh
win,
yeah.
but I think in the grand scheme, would it be better for England to actually win this one, and then we can all move on. You know.
I don't know. It is so hard to tell though. Is it just the way they are? Because history shows outside of football, generally, it is just the way they are.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cahill and Will, your favorite source of Love Island news and updates, gossips, and going-ons. Two new bombshells in the villa. Well, what you think? They're causing ructions already.
I can't believe Toby did that quickly to Kaz.
Oh man, Hugo, get out of here, Hugo. No one buys that shit.
Yeah, man. Do you see? This is a bit off topic. Well, it's kind of on topic. There's an article on Twitter, like the mentions or whatever, the Explore page,
Yeah.
and it was like Love Island first disabled contestant, and I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah,
that seems odd. I wonder what it is, or who is someone coming into the villa? No, Hugo has had club foot, but he's since had it operated on, and now he has normal feet and he walks on his tippy toes. But they were doing it as like, this is a groundbreaking moment for society. Like he has normal.
Now we're actually just talking about Love Island.
Yeah,
This has
I
gone
told
down. I can tell. I'm actually interested in it. We should probably look. We have to just face it. What we'll do is we'll dip our toes in. We'll do the first semi-final first.
Back to Love
Italy,
Island.
Spain.
Back-
Yeah. I'd say one of the best games in the tournament.
Yeah.
Italy, Spain.
Yeah.
We were talking about how much we love that Spanish midfield in the last episode. Koke, Busquets. I think they would compete with any midfield in the tournament. You add in Pedri,
Yeah.
who decided he was going to channel the ghost, the international ghost of Xavi Hernandez. I mean, he was unbelievable
he's
that game.
ridiculous. What age is he? 18.
18. I mean, I know you had a cynical view of the young player tournament, saying it'll probably go to Declan Rice or fucking Chiesa or someone young on the winning team, but it has to be him now, surely. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was bossing it.
I know that's the Spanish style, is to kind of overload midfield. But still, I mean, Italian midfield is no slouch. I mean, they were dominated by three boys in the middle. Unfortunately, they didn't create a lot of chances.
Were you thinking like I was watching the game? Like first I was like, oh, Italy look a bit tired, and then I thought, oh no, Italy look a bit tired.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, honestly, I was just impressed at how good Spain were, because again, with this tournament, it's always hard to tell, because you have some teams playing at home, some teams playing to raucous Bucharest Hungarian men, like full stadiums, empty stadiums, at home, away. It's such like water breaks in some games because of the weather. Like it really is. It's literally and philosophically all over the place.
Yeah.
Or not philosophically, literally and figuratively all over the place. So it's always hard to tell. And Italy versus Spain, I would have backed Italy from the start, but Spain came out. They really impressed me. A strange thing that they did, and they've been doing this all tournament, and we said this, is that they're still like, I'm not sure what centre back pairing I want. Yeah, once again they started Eric Garcia and Laporte. Laporte is fairly solid in there, but it's between Garcia and Torres. They keep changing him in and out. I suppose, I don't you might think that's a reaction to playing a different team, but they've been doing that the whole time. They haven't been able to decide on who's starting in that centre back spot. But because they own the ball in the middle, I mean, it didn't make much odds. Like I say, Pedri did create a lot. I don't think Pedri put a ball. I think at 100% pass accuracy in that game.
Yeah, it seemed it anyway. It seemed like anytime he got the ball, he was magic.
Yeah, I think it's a record, but like it wasn't just like, I know, sideways, backwards striker, that. But I mean, he
was doing everything.
A few dangerous balls. Or Hazabal had a great chance that first half. He just kind of left the ball behind him, and that was the story of Spain, really. That they can't finish until big man Morata came on. I mean,
we'll talk about him again in a bit, but is he all right? I haven't heard that from him in quite a few days.
I mean, from hero to villain, like literally, like the first goal.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it, yeah. I mean, we give Chiesa his dues. He's played his way into this team, and this is, I think we said this as well before, that this is apparently the strength of this Italian team, that there's no set places. There's no one who can't lose their spot. Berardi played well the first two games, didn't have the best game. So you bring on Chiesa, see what you can do, and you can play yourself in. And Brady came on, he played well too. So I mean, it's a really strong team. Chiesa came on, he got another great goal for him. At that point, then Italy went, all right, well, that'll do us.
Yeah.
let's just protect what we have here. Let's wait for Spain to pass the ball in front of us. That'll do us.
Yeah.
And really, that looked like how it was going to end until Morata came on and changed the game. Like, to be fair to him, he actually came on and changed the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think of when he came on? What do you think he added to it? Like,
I don't know. It just seemed. I think it's weird because I would say defenders even don't really know what to make of him. They're probably like, like we can kind of go easy. It's Morata, and then he'll pull something amazing. It's like, when did he have that in his locker?
yeah,
Like last week, I saw he couldn't hit the ball. So
Like-
I don't know. It's like he just fools people just based on
yeah.
his career.
Like Orzabal was leading the line. It like I know it's an easy kind of it's like when they played them before, but like it is like when they played them before. It's like I remember when they played in 2012, Torres was in way worse form than Morata was. But you know they're playing Fabregas up front because like we can't start Torres. He's not going to score. Like that was after he'd won the Champions League, so he's kind of like Timo Werner and Morata rolled into wood. And I was like, no, Fabregas up front. But anytime Torres came on, it just used to change the attack so much because he was the actual striker. He was going to try and get the ball in the goal. And Morata's finish, like it was just like a hit off of his arse and went in. Like he took with his right, finished with his left, a really, really good finish. And it was kind of like, remember I was saying the last day that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was not even on the squad. It was like Kane. Don't worry about it. You're, Whereas, this time he's like, Morata, look, you've been okay, but let's be honest, this is a big game. You're not playing.
Yeah.
And I said that, he went, fuck's sake, like, I've scored 3 goals. I've scored as much goals as Sterling has.
Yeah.
So when he came on, he was like a man on a mission. He was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to fucking score a goal.
Yeah.
He got the equaliser. But really, and I think they said this after the game. I think Enrique says after the game that there's only one team trying to win the game. Like Italy looked like they were fucked from just chasing shadows, trying to get the ball off Spain the entire game. Immobile, like say the anti-Harry Kane, he's not doing it in the knockout stages at all.
Yeah.
And then Belotti, who looks like he's straight out of a Sopranos background character.
Yeah, he's one of the others.
The one in Forces, he didn't make much difference really either. And then, like you say, it went to penalties. It had to be
before it went to penalties, though. My favourite moment of the tournament, Chiellini just getting in.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I
have to talk about that. Yeah,
incredible scenes. As I don't know how to even. Do you think he's just really good crack, or was he like, I'm gonna freak this guy out?
No, it was. I think look, that's the dark arts.
As they would not stop mentioning
on RT, they would not mention them. I haven't heard the dark arts mentioned so much since I read Harry Potter. Honest to God, it was the dark arts.
Well, as Damien Duff said, we talk about this Italy team and their dark side, but they also have quite a sexy side.
A sexy side, yeah, a very sexy side.
I'm not sure. Dara, before the game, we talked about their dark side. We talked about their sexy side, if you can call it that. Well,
I think Darren Maloney challenged him and said, is that not just a fancy way of saying cheating or diving or, feigning injuries? It's not just like, the stuff we don't want to see, we don't want to encourage kids to do. And then Damien Duff went a bit kind of American Psycho. He started to lick his lips a lot.
Yeah.
Because he was, it's obviously like a tick when he's kind of annoyed or kind of like, whatever. I'm able to find the clip, but I mean, if we don't find the clip, he says, he's like, well, I never got done for diving, Dara. And he like licks his lips, kind of like, go on, say something else, and I'll absolutely go through. I'll 2-foot you here in the studio. It was insane. And then Dara just moved on. All right, that's enough of that segment. You scared me there, Damien.
People talk about Keane being like mental and stuff, but Keane, it does seem like a bit of an act a lot of the time. There is a mental side to Duff, I think. Duff, it seems a bit scary. Oh, but yeah. I got a lot of penalties. I never got done for the diving there.
Which is like a weird pundit's kind of, rewriting history in their own
Yeah.
heads.
And
It's
also,
like,
I never got done for diving.
Yeah.
Not a good way
Yeah.
to put it.
that's what I mean. It's like, well, I never got yellow card for diving, so therefore I mustn't have ever dived.
Yeah.
It's like,
No one ever got yellow cards for diving then, Duff. Well, I don't even think that was a rule.
I mean, it's just we'll talk about real dark arts, streetwise. A lot of phrases being thrown around
Yeah.
this week. But yeah, the pundits' kind of rationale, I guess, ex-players,
Yeah.
because they know they did it. I mean, I remember a famous Twitter spat between Gary Lineker and Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
And I think Piers Morgan pulled up some old clip of Gary Lineker diving to win a penalty and scoring. And that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, so diving's not a new thing, like feigning injury and, taking 10 yards extra on a throw,
Yeah.
like, the dark arts or whatever. It's just, I don't know, it never sits well when it's not your team, I suppose. But even when it is your team, it sometimes it's embarrassing. So when, like, they try and defend it, it's like, look, we just got to call a spade here, rather than like doing this mental gymnastics trying to say, oh, it's the dark arts, or it's it's just, it's professionalism. It's like it's ruining the game. Like, the best 15 minutes of the tournament was Switzerland versus France. Because that, like you're saying, that French team, there's no like team spirit. It's just all game winners. like Mbappe, Pogba, Benzema, they were all like, all right, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to fucking score a goal here, I'm going to win this. Because the arrogance, like, we're better than Switzerland, watch this.
Yeah.
Like, Mbappe got three, like, I know he didn't have a great game, but he got that ball 3 or 4 times, like, ran past 2 or 3 of them to try and score a goal. He didn't go down. You watch that game back, not a single instant of cramp in that extra time.
Mad.
Because France were like, no, fuck this. We're just going to win this game. They were all just getting the ball, running at them. Switzerland were just trying to keep up, flying them with tackles. There was no diving.
Yeah.
There was no, like, feigning injury, wasting time. They're all just trying to win the game for the last 50 minutes because they felt that they could. Like, Griezmann, all these boys were like, no, I'm going to score a goal here.
Yeah.
And you know what? France lost.
Yeah. Should have used more dark arts. They should have gone a goal up and they should have started cramping up.
And that's why, because it might be a great spectacle, but like France went out, and you might say 9 times out of 10 they win that game if they do the the shitty stuff and they slow it down and try and dive to get a free kick. They weren't interested in the free kick. Mbappe was picking the ball up at halfway and running at them. It was like, that's not going to get you a goal.
They didn't want free kicks because they don't know who's on the free kicks.
Well, this is it. Like, so I mean, entertainment is great, but there's so much money and so much pressure and direct access to your messages from people who will tell you to go kill yourself. There's too much on the line to not dive, to not try and win the game any way you can.
Yeah.
So the Italians were good at it. We saw them against Belgium as well. The now infamous Immobile feigning injuries, which I will say the match today, boys, had a good laugh at that simulation.
That's mad, isn't it?
That was hilarious, but whatever. Sorry, we started talking about Chiellini, saying that that's what he does.
He introduced a new form of the dark arts or whatever, of being really, really friendly and happy, like too friendly, off-putting.
Yeah.
Right before the biggest moment of the tournament so far.
Do you think it's because he thought he wasn't in the first 5? He was like, oh, I can relax.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Because I always thought he's definitely going to take one if he's like, because initially I thought like it's probably like a psychological trick he has, because he's been in these situations before, and like the worst that you can do is like psych yourself out.
Yeah, so he just
like Alvaro Morata clearly had.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know what? It's just another game. It's just I'm kicking the ball into net, nothing to worry about. So he just this kind of jovial, like whatever.
You calling Alba a liar and stuff, like for saying.
Yeah. Like I think that was his initial thing. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy the moment. That's the best way to deal with this. And then as he saw Alba was just having none of it. Like, I'm not here for this kind of behavior at all.
He looked so nervous.
He was like, "Oh, okay." Now he sensed an advantage, and he like laid it on even thicker.
Yeah.
Like you
man.
said, it was the
When he-
coin flip. That's
when
where it
he-
started.
Yeah, the coin flip to pick sides, and when it was up in the air, I think Alba said heads and it landed on his heads. Or it landed on his tails, and Alba went, yeah, I went tails. And then Chiellini laughed and pointed at him and went, liar.
Yeah.
And then he put his arm around the ref and was laughing and joking.
And then the ref went, all right, we'll flip it again. So, and Alba was like, what the fuck? You know, now maybe Alba was like, maybe Alba was trying his own mind games first. Who knows? They flipped it again, and then Chiellini won and pointed down to the Italian end, and Alba was fuming. He was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, and then I think Chiellini was like, "Oh yeah, this guy is not liking this."
We got him.
So he like gave him a little kind of a little push and a punch, and then grabbed him and like squeezed him, like that kind of like that. You know that crazy person who's hugging you, like, I don't know if he wants to kill me or he actually is enjoying my company here, and he like squeezed him extra hard. And I was like, okay, watch
And
yourself.
it was also the added element of, because he wrapped his arms around him and lifted him, but he lifted him in a way where Alba could not move his arms. He could only like flail his legs. So that must be so emasculating. When the camera is right here in your face as well.
Yeah, it was proper like, you know, like a Jack Nicholson character, like that kind of like, oh, he's properly crazy. He's pretending to be our friend, but I think he could kill me if he wanted to.
He was one step away from grabbing him in a headlock and nugging him.
Yeah. And then one more step from like screaming in his face, "I'll like fucking kill you!" You know, it's that crazy happiness. It's very unsettling. Like I say, Chiellini was on the first 5, but maybe Alba was on that 5th one. Who knows?
Yeah, it reminded me as well, and it was, which is stereotypical, but it did remind me of how Tony Soprano would treat people he's about to kill.
Yeah, yeah. And is that kind of, you know, the experience, the leader, all that kind of stuff. That's, you know, you talk about experience a lot, but like that is what you want.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was listening to the radio this morning, and they described Bonucci and Chiellini as 2 old dogs looking for one last win. Do you know what age Bonucci is?
33.
He's just turned 34. He's 7 years older than me. An old dog ready to be put down.
Yeah.
He has like probably like another tournament left next December.
Yeah, definitely. I think Barzagli went on till he was like 37 for Italy.
Yeah, like they're central
Chiellini's
defenders.
37
like,
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in terms of defenders and Italian defenders, he's in his prime. Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, I don't know what I was reading a lot and listening to a lot of different podcasts about it. I think what the best thing I heard was, you know, when like you hear something translated from different language, like it's something you would never say in English, but it sums up perfectly.
Yeah.
And it was that Spain confiscated the ball from Italy. I was like, that's so perfect. Like, it's exactly the kind of how you would describe. You would never describe it that way, but it sums up like they just took the ball away from them. They couldn't play.
Yeah.
But like I think it was the experience in the end. I mean, the Italian penalties, did they all go in?
They missed their first one.
Yeah, they both went again. The penalties in this tournament, I've never seen so many missed.
I think they must just be mentally drained after the last year of playing so much pressure moments. Like, and then it's like now you've got another penalty shootout.
Yeah, and definitely more traveling than any tournament.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like even that season, like they were playing Champions League games at home in like Porto and stuff like that. Like they were all over the place. Like, so
it definitely a lot of traveling for them. But yeah, I saw they took off Busquets before the extra. So yeah, he's not missing this one.
Yeah, not this time, pal.
But Olmo over the bar. I mean, you know, I guess though, I think I would almost rather that than someone hitting it like just to the right.
Like
Morata. You know, yeah, you know, because like that's, you know, not having a go at Morata, but like he just knew, he was like, I'm just going to get it on target and hope he doesn't save it. I'm not actually trying to score. I'm just trying to get on target and cover I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
You know, I want to at least make him save and hopefully maybe he fumbles it in. But I said, I don't know who was reading off the stats before the shootout. Donnarumma apparently has saved 20 penalties in his Serie A career at 22. I know he's been playing since he's 17, but even still, it's a lot of penalties saved. He's a big, big man.
Yeah.
Huge wingspan. Morata just had to do better than that to beat him. And I know when he was walking up, I know it's easy to say afterwards, but I don't know.
It's
All I've
nearly
heard
always
is
right
people,
though. You can usually tell when someone's about to fucking sky a penalty or miss a penalty. They just look like they're
So I
shitting
remember-
themselves.
because I remember Vargas for Switzerland when we kicked it against France. Luis got a hand to it. He should have saved it, but it went in.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, he's going to miss. And he did. He took a bad penalty.
Yeah.
But Morata, you just knew it was like, oh, who's next? Then Morata walks up looking like, But like this, he came on and changed the game. He scored the goal. He's the reason they're there. He should be like, yeah, I could fucking do this. But you just know that somewhere in his head, he's overthinking every scenario.
Yeah.
He's thinking, oh, I think I missed a penalty against Sunderland before, or whatever he was thinking, because you just knew he was going to miss. It had to be him. It was just so tragic. It had to be Morata to miss the penalty.
Again, we always say it. The narrative always wins.
I mean, that poor fucker,
Yeah, I felt so bad for him. And like, I literally haven't heard his name mentioned since then. Not an interview with him, nothing. And like, he was a pretty regularly interviewed fellow.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
no,
no,
he's all right.
that's the best thing for him. Just take the week off, man. Just try and recover from this. One good thing though, apparently Luis Enrique has won over the Madrid media in Spain, because supposedly this was not a tournament they had any expectation for. It was like, we're building for Qatar 2022. They did not think they'd get to within a penalty kick of the final, which they have. And I think most of his decisions, the Ramos one, I mean, they were pretty good defensively, even against Italy, and Croatia. So I mean, I think that's one good thing for Spain, that like.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying this, the last few tournaments, they've been so bad since 2012 when they won it. 2014 group stages, 2016. Is the one they didn't qualify for? Am I getting that wrong? Maybe, but like this is such a leap from for the last 10 years. This is by far and away their best finish. And you have emerging talents like Pedri, Eric Garcia. Una Simeone was very good in the goal as well. I wasn't expecting to be that good. I mean, he saved how many penalties in this tournament? So
Ferran Torres as well is really good.
Yeah, another one. So like and again, it's a year and a half away, the next tournament. So they'll be looking forward to Qatar with thinking, that could be a good tournament for us as well. So
they just need a striker. They need some young striker to pop up soon.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously you can say Murat had a bad tournament. He scored 3 goals. He got the equaliser against Italy. He got the winner against Croatia in the last round. It's the ones you miss. It's how you miss them. It's. I mean, Moreno equally. 30
Moreno
goals.
Had a way worse tournament.
Yeah.
Like Morata was head and shoulders above Moreno this tournament, I thought.
And Moreno was the one who scored 30 goals in the domestic season, won the Europa League, scored in the final, and then it comes to Spain and it doesn't translate at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, it's happened before. Like we're saying, a year ago, but like most of the English starting team wouldn't be playing. So, players can emerge in a year. And I think as long as it's not the entire team, if Spain can get a striker to emerge in the next year, it'd be good money for Qatar, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think it's Busquets' last tournament? Are we waiting for a retirement from him in the coming days?
I don't think it's gonna be anyone's last tournament, because the World Cup is so soon. Like, it's a year and a half, not even a year and a half. Like, that'll fly by. It's one more season pretty much, and then it's on in the winter. It's not even like, it's 2 summers away. It's like it's close. Just get one more season, do all right. You might get another World Cup back. Yeah,
definitely that's Spain team. The only one I've seen, Kroos obviously feels that Germany aren't going to win in a year and a half. Which, you know what? I think you're probably right. I mean, look, he doesn't want to get the Muller treatment or the Hummels treatment and be told to fuck off. He's like, listen, I can retire now. I won the World Cup. I've done pretty all right. I mean, he's only 31. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't need to retire, but I think he's like, better to go than be pushed,
Yeah.
So I mean,
and as well, when like a new international manager comes in, and you've only known the one for so long and the one system for so long, you're probably not arsed to fucking start from scratch when you're at that level and like have to prove yourself again.
Yeah, exactly. And look, he has nothing to prove to anybody, Tony Kroos.
Exactly. Yeah.
For Italy, obviously they march on to the final. Emerson wasn't too bad.
The other fullback, what's his name?
Di Lorenzo, yeah.
was savage. He was unbelievable. That game.
Yeah, he had a point to prove, I suppose.
They just swapped the wing that they were working on. It was great.
Yeah.
They will miss. I still think they'll miss Spinazzola
Oh, yeah.
in the final, though.
Of course.
We didn't mention as well the raucous scenes after they fucking won the penalty shootout.
Oh, yeah.
With did you see Insigne swimming in Spinazzola's jersey?
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah.
down to his knees.
That was nice. I know we you can kind of overstate these things sometimes, like team spirit and stuff. It's like, what's it really matter? But they definitely have it. Whatever much it matters.
Yeah.
I mean, they went straight to that Spinazzola jersey.
Yeah. They were all singing the song about him and shit.
You could hear them sing the song in the background of the interviews and stuff. Did you see Bonucci getting grabbed by the steward because she thought he was a fan? He was like,
So I have a theory on that. I don't think she thought it was a fan. I think she was like, you can't do that because of COVID. And he was like, fuck off. I've just fucking... That was my theory. Because you'd know he's on the pitch facing this way and then he turned. That was my theory. I think she was like, you can't go near the fans. And he was like, I'm going to do what I want.
well, he was coming back from the fans, so it was a bit too late for that.
But where was that game on? Was that on in Wembley?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the steward was speaking to him in English? And he was like, I don't know what you're saying.
I think because all the music festivals and everything has been, cancelled, that she was just someone who works festivals all summer long, and she's got this gig because she knows somebody. She doesn't care about football. She's just someone who works these gigs and didn't know who Bonucci was. Doesn't know anything about football. Not having to go. Not saying that women aren't about football. I'm not saying that for a second. It's just that she was a short woman with pink hair. I think she just and fucking hell, like that atmosphere was insane. So she just saw this.
It's hard to keep up with everything. She probably is looking all around.
She saw
to stop everything.
This generic-looking dude flying towards a pitch in Italian jersey. Like they're all wearing Italian jerseys. It's just grabbed like, oh, sorry. But did you see some dude stop Ronaldo for see if he had a pass? It's like again, just a guy under pressure doing his job. Sorry, sorry, it's Ronaldo. Well, go on in, sir.
I don't know if you saw as well. Two things happened. One of the Italian players went into the crowd and was like celebrating with people.
Yeah.
And he came back onto the pitch without his shorts. He gave them to someone. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the starters. So he like jumped into the crowd, came back in just his boxers and looking like all frazzled. And then another thing that happened, a fan was on the pitch celebrating with the Italian team.
Yeah.
And no one copped it for ages. Like, I'm sure the players copped it, but no stewards were. And he was like dancing and singing with them and hugging them.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievable scenes for Italy. Apparently, they had a much bigger support there than Spain did. But I think they probably were the better team. I mean, Spain were pretty good. Italy did try to defend what they had, and they managed to get to penalties, and that was enough. But it's easy.
We didn't mention. Did you know why like Spanish fans couldn't go? Which I don't know how people never thought of this.
Some COVID thing, was it?
Yeah, it was because their last game was a few days before that in somewhere else.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have time to quarantine going to that game.
Oh yeah.
Which how is that not thought? Then why is this happening? Surely this was always going to happen to a few countries.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. Like this is the worst possible idea for the time that's in it.
Why are they making it so hard?
Well, it's nothing you can do now, is there? Like I mean, the tournament has gone ahead, and it's these things will happen. Sure, I mean it may have actually played a part in the penalties, but I think Morata would have missed it at an empty stadium too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think so. With the silence, definitely. Just his thoughts. There's no way he's scoring.
It's a tough game for Italy to go to extra time and penalties and be defended for that long. So, they have a good rest for the final. I thought they struggled against Austria. I thought they were excellent against Belgium. I do feel they just rise to the occasion. I mean, I feel like whoever they're playing, they'll have enough. They can raise their level. Yeah, I would rather Immobile was playing a little better, or they had a striker that could.
Yeah,
I think that might come against them in the end.
England are unfortunately like they've barely conceded a goal. I think they've conceded one goal all tournament.
Just the one from that free kick.
That's
Yeah.
Jesus, like that's tough to break down. That's why I was worried about Spain maybe getting through that game.
Yeah.
Because I think England, they might not have much of the ball, but I don't think they mind that. And then I think they'd just fucking get a goal and Spain would be hopeless.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that didn't end up the final.
I suppose that brings us on to the other semi-final. Denmark and England. Look, the toughest game England played, I'd say.
Yeah. Denmark looked bollocks.
Yeah.
I thought, like, from as soon as their goal went in, they were done, I think.
Well, once they took off Dahlberg and Damsgaard in the one substitution, that was about 65, 70 minutes, maybe before that even. I was like, oh, like,
Yeah.
look,
Where are the goals going to come from now?
yeah, like, look, as a Republic of Ireland fans, we know exactly what they were doing, and
Oh, yeah.
it's a big ask. It's a big ask to defend the lead for that long.
They scored too early.
Look, it was a great penalty. Oh no, sorry, it was a great free kick that Damsgaard scored. Ronaldo would have been proud of that one. The old Ronaldo, when he used to score those penalties, when he used to score those free kicks. I mean, the technique was insane. People were like, "Oh, could Pickford have done better?" It's like, you don't know how hard it is to even keep your eye on that ball. Never mind save it. Like, the dip was just ferocious. Jesus, like, it was a perfect free kick.
Yeah, I like Pickford did plenty in that game to actually be mad about. I don't think that free kick was one of the things. Like, RTE were ripping him for the free kick, and they're like, he was standing in the wrong place at the start of it. He should have been more in the centre of the goal.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, what if he hit the other way then? Like, then he's out of position there. Like, he went for what would have been the right place. He didn't expect Damsgaard to be able to pull that off.
Because did you see Denmark's little mini wall that they did, the 3-man wall?
Yeah.
Like that, it wasn't just like a freak goal that went in. Like, that was something they obviously practiced. The real controversial thing, and that maybe people said, I think it's like they may have been offside if you're kind of, because they did actually.
Yeah, I think it's
interfere.
The goal should have been disallowed.
But I think what most people are probably focusing on, because it's easier to decide, is the free kick itself. Was it a bit soft? I mean, because they got a free kick, and then they went to kind of like lob it in, and then they did this. They had a lot of free kicks planned. Obviously, they all like bunched together, and then like tried to spin around the back. And Luke Shaw went, "Well, what if I just hold you?"
Well, every single free kick, I was like watching, thinking, "There's a goal coming here," because I know from a season of watching Maguire and Shaw.
Oh, there it is. There it is, folks.
Oh, baby. They can't do it. Like, every free kick, they'll foul, they'll fall, they'll pull, they'll be offside. They don't defend free kicks well.
Well, do you know what it was that?
And it happened twice. Twice in that game.
The way Luke Shaw held, like, he said, "I don't care if you're going to spin. I'm not going to try and match your pace here. I'm just going to stop you here. If that's in the box, it's never free. Never penalty. But it's outside the box. It's just blatant enough to be like, all right, you didn't even try to get the ball. You just put your hands out." And look, he did go down. He did dive. He went down easily. He knew that Shaw was holding, but only because he knew Shaw was holding him so blatantly. He was like, you're not hidden by anybody. You're right at the front here.
You're fouling me right now. I'm going to go down.
Yeah. So, it went down easily. It dived a bit, but I think Roy Keane always says this: don't give the referee decision to make. Because they have to make a decision then, and then they're culpable. So, but then you can, like, say,
especially now when there's so much pressure in every decision, because there's a long wait and multiple people telling you what you like, different VAR refs saying different things in your earpiece.
Yeah,
so definitely don't give them a decision now.
Which obviously take nothing away from the strike itself. That was a really good finish. Like I said, I thought Delaney and Højbjerg, like I predicted again. Once again, I was right, Will. Put it right up those Phillips and Rice. They didn't let them turn, and they had no idea how to, deal with that at all. Kept kicking it over the sideline. But, they put them under such pressure, they couldn't keep it up the whole game. And then I think eventually when Delaney went off, they just didn't have the same quality of players to bring on. Like, England's bench, ridiculous. Like,
yeah, it's insane. It's like multiple Champions League winners.
Like they brought on Grealish and took him off again. Like that kind of luxury they have. They brought on our player and took him off again at the whim. Denmark were holding on. They were trying to get to the penalties. Obviously, the equaliser actually. To be fair, giving them their credit, Sterling should have scored. Schmeichel had a Peter Schmeichel-like save, made his body huge.
He had a few Peter Schmeichel saves. It was the FA Cup final all over again. He kept them in it for a while.
Yeah. And then I think it was 48 seconds after that they the exact same play, Saka cross, and then Kjaer this time, read it, but he still had to put the ball in his own goal. And yeah, from that point on, I think that's maybe when they took off Damsgaard and Dahlberg, and it was like, oh no, this is going to be a tough watch.
What made the dive later on worse was, did you see Sterling went in during the own goal? He wasn't trying to kick the ball.
No.
He was doing the patented no nonsense.
Yeah.
Hands in the air, arch the back, knees buckled, full blown dive mode, and then the ball went in and he hopped up.
Yeah. Well, look, let's just get right into it. Well, let's get into the point, the one moment of the game that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Look, it is. Let's call it a spade. It was a dive. It was a
It was a
dive.
blatant dive. Didn't touch him,
and
he might have grazed him. There was not enough contact to knock you down. Even at full pelt, there wasn't.
This is the it's the debate that's been in punditry and fucking all this podcasts and everything else for years now. What is a dive? What isn't a dive? And to make rulings on stuff, to have a rule that suits every situation, because that's what you have to have. They've decided if there's no contact, that's a dive. But if there is contact, all bets are off. You can go down, all that shit. But and we mentioned before, Kevin Doyle, went to Twitter to defend Raheem Sterling, saying, and this is something that Gareth Bale used to trot out every time he went down easy in the Premier League. It's like, oh yeah, when you're going at that pace, even the slightest touch can send you over. And that's just not true.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
It's bollocks. Like, as if he was like a unicycle on a tightrope. Like, even the slightest touch could send me off that tightrope. Like, yeah, but when you're running with 2 feet, like if you have to be touched on either side. Like, if both your legs are interfered with going that pace, that's what makes you wobble. Yeah. If your ankles are clipped, but it has to be both your feet to send you over. But like, to be touched on one leg, it doesn't send you over. Like, sure, it slows you down,
also,
but like
that argument doesn't account for what's the screaming about then. What, like, because it's all like they say it as in like, oh, when you're going that fast, the slightest thing can knock you down, and that's why it's a foul. But they never say like, oh, the slightest thing also hurts much more. So
yeah,
it's very like.
I mean, this
that's never mentioned.
The scream is half kind of, I think, appealing for the free. Like, oh, ref, did you see that? Yeah. Sometimes it's feigning pain as well. But like, Sterling, right, has been diving since the Germany game. I mean, you might say before that in his career, but in this tournament, the whole plan was Sterling get the ball on the wing, drop the shoulder, cut inside. Like, he's lightning fast, so he knows he's going to go around the first man. That first man is going to be tracking him back, trying to get back to him at any cost. Then he's going to draw another man across, otherwise he's going to go straight to the goal. So he knows that I can either go past him here, play 1-2 Harry Kane and get a goal, and if not, I know it's going to look like they're sandwiching me. So I'm going to wait for the contact to come, and then I'm going to dive to the ground like that. In the Germany game, he did that, cut inside past Kimmich, ran towards Grotzke, and I think maybe Muller or Kroos came across as well, and he just dived, and the ball spurted out to Kane, and then he blew it. But only that if the ball went to Kane, that would have been a free game, but it wasn't a free. He wasn't touched. He wasn't touched. He's been doing this the entire game, the entire tournament. And look, you might say, oh, England were the better team, a goal was coming. The fact is, a goal didn't come. Like, Spain were the better team, they couldn't get the goal. Like, as much as Morata was oh, he's shite and that, he wasn't running at the box trying to get a free, diving, trying to get a penalty. Harry Kane just jump on the ground, diving, trying to get free kicks.
Harry Kane fouled a man, and then was livid he didn't get a penalty for it. Like, he
Yeah.
kicked someone over and then rolled around.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about that since fucking January.
And hey, look, we've talked about Harry Kane many times in this podcast, but like Jordan Henderson as well, like just careened into the back of a Denmark player, went down and turned to referee looking for a penalty. That was their main point of attack: try and get a penalty.
Yeah.
So Sterling's been doing this the entire tournament, running at players, hopefully get past them. If not, hit the ground like a sack of spuds. And whatever. It's a very fast game. He's lightning fast. It's hard to see, a lot of bodies in the way. If only, Will, there was some kind of system that we could review these scenarios and get the right decision.
Yeah,
What?
if only there was some kind of monitor in the stadium a referee could watch or look at. You look at it.
And look, this is VAR. Everyone knows their names. They released the names of all these people. You're in Wembley, 60,000 people. What do you think would have happened if they'd overturned that decision?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it would have been like, this is these are the fans that are booing the national anthems, booing the knee, booing every time Denmark got the ball, and you're going to overturn their penalty in their home stadium. I mean, cowards, absolute cowards in the VAR room.
Yeah, they fucking bottled it. And it further proves our point from last week that they should do away with refs and get Sir Kittle on. He will make the calls.
He'd be way better. He'd have a bit of fucking. He wouldn't have any human emotions that would, take him. Like this thing, like I was saying, is like if there's contact in, it's not. It's then we have to just assume that he must have been fouled. If there's contact, he wouldn't. Contact doesn't mean it's a penalty, but because there was contact, that justifies anything.
Contact sport. It's a contact sport as well. It's not fucking like basketball, where it's like, oh no, he has the ball, you can't touch him. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, honestly,
you're allowed to tackle people.
Make it non-contact then. If again, just make it non-contact, because if there's contact and it goes down, that's not a penalty. Like, it was so obvious, and like the ref himself, why doesn't he go over to the screen if he's thinking this is a huge decision for Denmark and
Let's
England?
make sure of it. Yeah,
just go over the screen and look at it. I think it's partly the praise that they were getting because they were dealing with situations so quickly. The VAR wasn't ruining the game. It's like, this is a semi-final. This is clearly going to win the game for this team. Check. Yeah. Make sure of it. Don't just leave it up to the VAR boys. I mean, make your own decision on a ref. It was just infuriating to watch.
Yeah, really bad. And I think it was worse as well. Because of how the English media have talked about VAR and diving for the last entire year.
Yeah,
how it's the both of them together are ruining the game, and then all of a sudden it's grand. It's like, these things happen. It's sports, it's streetwise.
Yeah,
it's bollocks.
Well, do you want to hear what Raheem Sterling said after the game?
Yeah, I do. Well, not really, but I do.
We'll see what he thought.
Was it a generous penalty award, or did you feel it was a definite penalty?
Yeah, I went into the box and he stuck his right leg out and it touched my leg, so it's a clear penalty.
And Harry.
So this is what I'm saying about the kind of rationale that contact. I go down.
He touched my leg.
He touched my leg. It's like
Did you not to be like a fucking analyst or a speech expert or anything, but did you cop the thing he almost said? Yeah, I ran into the box, then he touched my leg.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. It's like, well, look, we'll just see what Gary Neville had to say about this situation.
Oh, yeah.
And involving Raheem Sterling last night, of course, was that penalty that was given. Do you think it should have been, Gal?
No, not a chance. That's never a penalty in a million. I mean, look, I always think about it. What would the headlines be this morning? How would we feel this morning if we were on the other end of that penalty? We'd be absolutely devastated. But honestly, I don't care. I've been with England now. I've been to 8 tournaments, and I've been knocked out where we've had goals disallowed, chances missed, posts hit, referees not giving, sending players off when we didn't think it was a sending off. All those excuses that we've made over the years and those reasons why we didn't succeed. I genuinely think last night that team would have succeeded without that penalty. I think it would have done something different and got that goal. I know that people might say, well, that's a ridiculous thing to say, but I genuinely think they were okay in that game. I said at the end of full time, I think we're okay here because we're playing well. The last 15 minutes of full time, we played well. When Dolberg and Damsgaard went off for them, the game changed completely. And they lost their legs. They lost the counter attack. I thought Declan Rice and
all right, Gary, that's our job. Don't do the whole podcast on us here.
Could've
But to be fair, look, this is why Gary Neville has made his name as a pundit, because he has these balanced opinions. Like, no, absolutely wasn't. But like, you know what? I mean, he basically he basically went for the these things balance themselves out over the course of the season defense, which I guess they balance themselves out over the course of my life, where he's seen.
What did you make of him comparing what shouldn't have been a penalty, like them getting a dodgy penalty call, to them missing their own chances and hitting the post? That's your fault. Don't act like that's like, we've had things go against us not winning.
No. To be fair, I mean, obviously there's the one against Germany, the Frank Lampard one over the line. One of the reasons that goal line techno came in.
They lost that game 4-0 though.
Well, these things can change the course of the game. Will I think he's probably thinking of David Beckham, getting baited by Diego Simeone kicking out. Now look. He kicked out, but
Simeone didn't kick in.
No, Dave Beckham barely kicked him as well. But I think it's just like, I get what he means. But look, at least he has the sense to say no. Of course, it wasn't a penalty, rather than other people trying to make these kind of there was contact. There was like a hip thrust, perhaps, and when you're going that fast, Will, even the slightest breeze, this kind of bollocks, as if like. I don't know what it is. Maybe they think, oh, well, these plebs at home have never played Premier League football. It's like, have you ever ran somewhere? Have you ever played five-a-side? That the slightest touch. Like, look, I know these are elite athletes, and Raheem Sterling runs considerably faster than I ever have. But, like, it's not, it's like I say, it's not a unicycle on tightrope. Like, you don't get knocked over that easily.
There would be people falling over all over the pitch all game, even when they're not on the ball, if that is the case. Like, there'd be just constantly people... There'd be 11 players on the ground at all times.
Like I say, I refer you to the second half extra time of France, where they decided they were going to go win it. No one got knocked over. Nobody was diving. Nobody went down for too long. They were all trying to win the game. It's absolute bollocks to say that.
I saw fucking Sancho last week get kicked in the shins and keep going at full pace.
Yeah,
because they weren't winning the game yet.
And look, to pull a Will Byrne here, you watch Dan James from Man United desperately trying to make the team. If you need to stay on your feet, you will stay on your feet. If you'll do whatever it takes, if you think this is the best way to win. And Sterling went down because he thought, we're not creating chances here. This is our only option here, to go down, try and get a penalty. Like I say, Gary Neville there says, I feel we would have got a chance. Maybe you might say that's absolutely ridiculous. I think you can look at the other semi-final of Spain. They control the ball. If Murat had gone in diving for a penalty, he might have got one. They didn't create a chance. They lost on penalties. So look, my only hope is that they don't have enough to... If they didn't have enough to break down, Christensen and Kjaer, they certainly won't have enough to break down Chiellini and Bonucci.
Christensen on one leg for a lot of the game as well before having to go off.
Yeah.
He was still doing okay. And I think that was the first tough test they came up against, and I don't think Denmark are that amazing a team. They're missing their best player, as we said last week.
Yeah, I mean, look, Denmark, I think it was a combination of them being a pretty decent side, being hugely motivated, and look, we say England had the draw, as did Denmark. There's no getting away from that either.
Exactly,
so Denmark, fair play to them for getting that far. We will not be doing bandwagon wheel there, as you failed to hold up your end of the bargain.
We are back to our original thoughts on Denmark.
Yeah, so you can go back, disrespect and pretend they didn't have a league.
Never heard of
never heard of the Danish league. No, look, fair play to Denmark. I was all right to play the Kasper Schmeichel clip of "Has ever been home." It seems kind of silly now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was thinking this as well. The it's coming home thing. Obviously, it's about the football is invented here and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a World Cup song. The Euros isn't the same. Don't act like it's the same thing.
I think
it's not. It's half the size of the world.
I think it was for the '96 Euros, though, wasn't it? It was the two boys, Frank Skinner and Baddiel,
yeah.
because
Who I actually like both of them. They're both very funny and seem nice.
um,
But it's not their fault. Their song has been stolen and turned into something different.
well, this thing, I think it was because the Euros were in England, so it was the fact of
Right.
football returning back to where, like, the competition. As it again, like, say, not your thing. As in football itself, the tournament, it's going back to its roots, going back to where it first started. Whereas now it's become this kind of about winning.
We are entitled. Yeah, we're entitled to winning.
Like football coming home isn't about the tournament taking place here. It's about us bringing back the trophy.
Yeah.
And when they asked Kasper Schmeichel, you know all about football coming home, what would it mean to you? And he was like, has it ever been home? Like, he was winding them up. He says, has it ever been home? And then he goes, oh, well, it was in 66. It's like, so it's not about the tournament or football being played there.
Yeah.
It's about them winning it. And like, that fucking sucks, man. That's shite. Everyone, that's so arrogant, so annoying.
I don't know if you saw today, Lineker and Neville having a bit of a spat on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Lineker was like, "Please don't boo the Italian national anthem. Like, it's very disrespectful." Blah blah blah. And Neville said, "When I played and we got booed, I didn't mind it." And it's like, we should boo them. It's like, gets in their heads.
Yeah. Don't.
I think when other countries boo the English national anthem, it's different to you booing their national anthem, because, like, say Ireland boo the England national anthem, that's because it's like, well, you've done a lot of bad to us, but like them booing our national anthem is like, that's uncalled for.
Yeah, well, it's punching down, isn't it? That's
yeah, you're the bullies.
You have all the advantage against Denmark. You're a country of what, 55 million people, is it?
Yeah. Let's get in Denmark's head. They don't have enough to think about in this tournament.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing of like, you have the better team, you have the better resources, you have more people, much more successful in terms of qualifying for tournaments, and then you're going to boo their national anthem because that's even that advantage isn't enough. And this is what I mean. I think the English have this kind of complex of being the underdog because they're not on the level of a France or Spain or Italy in terms of winning these competitions or getting to finals, but they're so far above a Denmark or an Ireland or like a country. Like, I think we have the same population as Denmark. I think we're over 5 million now in the Republic. So like, it's basically Scandinavian us. That's who England barely beat because of a dubious penalty. So it's like,
and it's us with like a competent FA. That's it.
But that's the thing. It's like that they're booing a country the size of us. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like it's so.
And I'm sure they did bad stuff to them, definitely, at some stage. I'm sure they've taken some jewels for them or something.
Well, I mean, they were the Vikings as well, so I wouldn't feel sorry for Denmark ever. But you know what I'm saying about, like, even now, it's like they have this weird complex that they think they're the underdogs. Like, you're really not. Like, maybe, like, look, boo the France national anthem, fine. Boo Germany, like, take it out on them.
Yeah.
But don't punch down. You got to punch up or punch sideways. Yeah. Pick on some of your own size. What I'm trying to say here,
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, my pick from the start of the tournament was Italy. They've got all the way to the final. I didn't think England would get there. I didn't think England would get this far, but fair play, they have. Sure, it was the easiest side of the draw, but they are a very decent side. Kyle Walker as well obviously listens to the podcast. He had a great game. Jesus, he had a great game.
I think he had the best game I've ever seen him in, I think. I literally, a few days after, we were like, he has never impressed me.
But now here's Southgate, right? Like, if they struggle against the Danish midfield, who I do rate very highly, how are they going to do against the Italians? Like, do you say, look, Rice and Phillips have played the whole tournament, but you can't ignore that it was the easier side of the draw. Like, Italy will be a step up from Denmark and Germany and Croatia, all the teams they've played. This will be a huge step up. Do you drop either Phillips or Rice for Henderson to say, look, we need someone who has a bit more experience at the top level?
Yeah.
Or do you say,
I don't know if it's because he's not fully fit, but I don't know why he's not starting Henderson. Anytime he comes on, he's unreal. Like, he does everything so well. I don't know why you wouldn't start him in the final. As good as Phillips and Rice have, like, I don't think Phillips would mind being like, you were the fucking fucking starter for the whole Euros, apart from the final. But like your career is gonna fucking fly from here. I'd say.
But this is the coward Gareth Southgate. Will this is a man
Yeah,
who,
that's true.
when they were 2-1 up and killing Denmark were out on their feet. All they
He
had,
should have put him to the sword. Yeah.
all they had to do was keep the ball. And what they do, they decide to let Denmark have the ball, get a bit of possession. See if they got so many corners at the end. That was the only way they were going
Yeah.
to score. There's massive Danish defenders. Get them up there, see if they can get a header.
Yeah.
Like cowardice from Southgate. If he now changes it before the final, it's like we were saying again, Champions League. It was like Pep always does this. Tries to be too clever. Tries to if you're doing that, I'll do this. Try to be one step ahead of someone.
The other guy hasn't thought about it yet.
And he just does it. He didn't do that. Now Pep's got it wrong. Like if you're Southgate, you're thinking, look, they struggle against Denmark. They'll definitely struggle against Italy. I should put Henderson in. But if you do that, Henderson has a bad game. It's like, why did you change a winning team?
Yeah.
So what's Southgate's thinking now? Was he thinking stick what it is, and that way even if we lose, but look, he's sort of Gareth Southgate now, regardless.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's with the World Cup as well, where they also fucking easier side of the draw, penaltied their way through.
So like,
But,
I don't know. I mean that's I think is probably the only decision for him. Everyone else, I mean, he started Saka to protect against Bailey down that side. That worked pretty well, to be fair. But I mean, I think they're probably just better than them all over the pitch, really. For the most part. Pickford being the only weakness in that side. Jesus, he had a bad game.
Yeah, he was. He looked so rattled immediately. Like 2 seconds into the game, he was all over the place. As soon as he broke that record, it was like he was told. It was like he knew the exact minute that record's broken.
Yeah.
He went, phew. And as soon as he relaxed, a ball came at him.
Like he threw the ball straight to a Danish player, and he was just lucky that there was enough defenders
few
back.
times.
It was like Jesus.
I think he did it like 3 times. Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. But yeah, I think you're not going to change the goalie. No, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, they don't have anyone else really. Like, you're not going to put Ramsdale in.
Henderson.
As much as I think he's injured as well.
Is
I think
he?
He's gone home.
There's only 2 goalies there.
What's his name from West Brom is there as well?
Oh, Johnson.
Johnson.
4 keepers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Sorry, Ward Prowse. Sorry, Jesse Lingard. But look, just like Chelsea will, don't forget about Big Sam and all this.
He's what started it all.
I mean, 100% England record. That was the perfect foundation for England to go on and do what they've done the last 2 tournaments. I mean, he must be.
And also, I mean, they went after everything happened with him. They went, who is the total opposite to get to that man? And it's worked out.
Yeah, very like Lampard and Tuchel,
Yeah, you have to be pushed to that point, though.
If you're Big Sam,
Someone-
I mean, you must. Well, you think Morata's in a dark place right now? I mean, Big Sam, this could have been him.
Yeah.
This was always his argument that, like, look, if I had a good team, if I was Italian, if I was Sam Allardyce, as he famously said,
Yeah.
I'd be a great manager. This would have been by far and away the best team he ever managed. And he's watching
And
home now
the whole-
thinking,
Yeah. And the whole thing is England are pretty good because they're boring and defensive. That's right up his street. Like, that's what he would have been doing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do feel for Big Sam right now. And look, if it's Big Sam, he definitely would have fucked it up as well. So, I mean, we could have
Yeah,
all been
that's
happy.
Yeah. Oh, what a world that'd be.
Yeah, well, one man who'll be supporting England in this tournament, or in the final, he's been supporting them all tournament already. He's made no secret of that. Liam Brady. What's going on there? What's his obsession with this England team?
They're just a bunch of likable lads. These are his words, not mine. Forget Cromwell and the famine and all that stuff. No one was thinking about that, man.
Yeah, like
what are
this.
you talking about?
I think look. I'm assuming he's living in England. Liam Brady, is he? He probably settled down there
I would guess so.
because he was working in the Arsenal academy for years. So I'm assuming he's living over there. We all know he fucking loves Trapattoni in Italy. We get it, Liam. You played in Italy.
Yeah.
You were a big guy back in the day. And I think honestly, he has an axe to grind with the Irish public.
I think so.
Everyone remembers Italian 90. Well, we're not allowed to forget about Italian 90. What not many people mention is how Liam Brady was dropped before that tournament. He was the kind of, I guess he was the Sergio Ramos of his day. Great servant, all that, but it was time for the newer guys. Time to move on. So when Ireland were at their peak of international football, Liam Brady had to watch that and think that should be me. That could have been me.
Yeah.
And then you had the Trapattoni thing, his good mate Trapattoni, who played under it, and everyone's saying he's a spoofer, he's not watching the games. And again, Italy was like, I knew these Irish fucking soccer fans fucking don't know anything, never have, never will. And I think I said this before, that I wouldn't be surprised to see a story about Liam Brady being sacked before this tournament and this being his one last show, because he seems to be purposely saying the worst things he could say about, like, why is he talking about Cromwell? Why did he talk about Cromwell and the famine and put that all, like, he knows well. How do you annoy an Irish person? Forget about all that shite about, 800 years. Forget that. Are you still going on about that? Jesus Christ, get over it. Like, I don't know why he's doing with that.
Yeah. And it would make sense for this to be his last tournament, because he is the last of, like, there's no other old guard boys doing analysis now.
Yeah.
Like, it's all, like, they're slowly kind of bringing in new lads. Even, like, they didn't get any big names for the analysis for this tournament that they probably could have gotten.
No.
They just went with, like, we'll get the new lads in and Brady could stick around and just be the most miserable man I've ever seen.
Miserable, English supporting. I hope they get the finally said before they played Denmark. Yeah. Now he's trying to, like, look, you can support if you want. I don't care, but, like, don't be kind of convinced people saying, look, lads, get over it, will you? He's like, fuck off, man. Like, honest to God, Liam Brady.
But also, you're doing analysis. You're supposed, like, you can say who you think will win. You're not supposed to be like, come on, England.
Like, look, if Ireland were in this, that's what you would do. That's what England are doing now on the BBC and the ITV. I don't know if you've ever heard the commentary from, like, say the Swiss commentary for when that penalty. Like, of course it's biased. Like, yeah, but, like, this kind of supporting England stuff, tell us to get over it. I think there's no way he's not doing this for one last fuck you to Irish football fans, being like, because of how we've treated Liam Brady over the years, how we treated his good mate Trapattoni, and he was part of that coaching panel as well, wasn't he? He was.
I think so.
Because everyone said, look, lads, you're not taken seriously. You're robbing living here. You're not playing James McLean. And look, we now know James McLean, James McCarthy, they were not, transformative players. But, like, that wasn't the point, Liam. That wasn't the point.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
So, I don't know why, but I think he's having one last swipe before he exits the RTE stage.
I think so.
But yeah, I'm not here for that at all. I'm not here for this soup drinking, English loving, telling us to get about the black and tans. Fuck that shit, Liam Brady. I don't know what's up your hole, but, like, save it for the BBC if that's what you're looking for.
Good luck getting on the BBC, mate.
Yeah.
The analysts in English media hear a lot of things. It's very rare you're bored by them, though. You'll be fucking angry at them or annoyed, but it's very rare, like, they have a panel of lads that are just, I don't know. And, like, they're always entertaining.
And if you are, you'd be kicked out like Phil Neville was.
Yeah, you're out.
I think Phil Neville had, like, 12 or 13 complaints from people, from BBC viewers, about how boring he was. And then, like, at the end of that contract, he was gone. They was like, all right, well, they didn't like you. Sorry, Phil. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, the Irish public have a go at Liam Brady, but, like, he's doing this to himself at this point. Like, he knows what he's doing, and I think we may have seen the last of Liam Brady, and this is his final goodbye to us. But we'll see. I
would love if for the final, it's doing, like, the pre-match analysis. And it's just like, I'm joined here today by Damien Duff, shows him. Rich Sadler shows him. And Liam Brady shows him, and he's normal, like the sourpuss. But he's got the fucking England flag painted.
Oh, yeah. The St. George dawned across his face, yeah. I tell you, like, it's like a man trying to be sacked. You know what I mean? It's like he's going full Jose Mourinho right now. Just, like, say, what's the worst thing I can say here is trying to get sacked at this contract? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, Liam, of course, it's down for the next one, and the Qatar is like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh God, Qatar.
Yeah, so maybe he's trying to get like,
It's on at Christmas.
yeah, that's what it is. He wants to fall asleep in front of the TV watching Indiana Jones. He's the one we were talking about fucking teams he knows nothing about. But yeah, look, I think that that probably brings us on to fantasy football. Will it's getting desperate for you.
Yeah. My brother was here yesterday.
Yeah.
And he informed me what jersey he wants.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Yeah, he wants the black German jersey, which I don't know. I was like, that's a bit of a waste. I thought Germany were shit.
Yeah.
Nice jersey, but surely you get the Italy jersey. How are you not?
I mean, the team that lost to England. Yeah, come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
Like people see that jersey in years. Like, what tournament was that from? Oh, the 2020/21 Euros. They barely got by Hungary.
Yeah, and then they let England win the Euros. Yeah, commemorate that one. But look, we're not here to judge on no nonsense. We deliver, you know. A jersey of your choice.
One thing we never do on the podcast is judge anyone.
Well, we judge. We're punching up. We don't punch down to our fans. Jesus, I mean, they're our fans.
We don't talk about other podcasts or other people.
Does Johnny listen to the podcast?
I don't know actually.
If he doesn't, then fuck him.
Fuck him.
Yeah, come back to me on that, and we'll revisit this jersey choice when he wins, because, like I say, it's so tight now. There's not much you can do. I had the best person that round, Kasper Schmeichel, on my bench.
Yeah, great shout.
And I missed out on 6 points in total because I had Donnarumma who had 3. That's the thing. Even
it's impossible.
There's not going to be huge differences in the team. I think I'm 60 points or so behind Johnny. So, like, you know, you make up 6 points, but you're still, you know, it's over.
Well, have you made your transfers for the final?
No, not yet.
So when you go to change your strikers, you have 6 to choose from, one of which is Calvert-Lewin. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah, no.
You're not going to win.
Look,
like, if you have 3 up top, you're going to have the same 3 up top as everyone else.
So a pretty anticlimactic end. Number 1, Bournemouth, 349 points.
Whoever's in second needs a hat-trick from their captain that Johnny does not have.
Yeah. FC Club de Mixer, he's on 334. So, what's that? 34 to 49.
I heard some analysis, which I didn't know, because I wasn't looking like at each team every round. Johnny was saying that whoever was in second for a while, like it was Johnny and someone else for ages, forgot to do their team 2 weeks in a row when he was 3 points behind.
Oh, damn.
It could have been whoever that was. I can't remember what team he said it was.
Yeah, so FC Club de Mixer, you're 15 points behind.
Please.
I don't see it, Will. I
don't either.
I don't see it happening.
They're going to have the same captain. You're going to pick the safest bet for captain, I think.
Well, there's 2 teams in it. How are you going to get 15 more points than Johnny does? I don't see it. Not that we're crowning Bournemouth. Look, FC Club Mixer, we wish you the best. You know, we wish you all the best here.
Godspeed.
Coming up in third, again, a bit too far away on 323 points. You do very well, Slumdog Mingley. But you know what? Credit to Slumdog. He made a late push, broke into the top 5. You know, not easy thing to do, but he managed this. And a new entrant, number 4, Pino Griezmann, my favorite name.
Oh, great name.
Yeah, he's almost 50 points behind. So again, I wouldn't be picking out a jersey, Pino. But fair play to you. The bangers fell away towards the end there. I think he maybe forgot to his team a couple times as well.
I think that might be who was in second.
Yeah. But look, we all have lives. Well, some of us have lives.
Yeah.
And then horses don't run, they can't fall out of the top 5 on the last hurdle there. You're
Blue was right when it mattered.
Yeah, right when it mattered. He's down to 6th.
How are me and you doing?
I'm 8th.
That's not bad.
Well, again, I've kept going. I've passed out a lot of people who gave up, which is always my method.
That's consistency is all that matters.
Yeah,
in fantasy.
always the method. I don't know where you are, Will. You're down to 9th.
11.
You're 1 point behind. 1 place behind. Yeah. So,
ooh.
You know, again, there's no prizes for coming second in this league. You ain't first, you last, folks. So,
yeah.
I will. I'll give you one thing. Will I'll go down there to anyone but Will Byrne in 18th. His captain's Ronaldo. So a lot of players who've been knocked out.
That is someone who has been desperately trying to beat me in fantasy, but never does because of decisions like that.
Yeah, I think they gave up in the end. I mean, and it happens. I think a lot of the people who I'm better than just stopped playing, gave up, missed a few rounds, and that was it.
Well, there's no coming back in this one. Like if you're like a 20th, you're fucked. Like once the knockout stage has started, it's over.
Honestly, I think you and I are dead last of people who are actually trying. We're ahead of people because they stopped trying.
Yeah.
Anyone who tried is ahead of us. So fair play to them. Look, I think it's a 2-horse race now. It's turned into every Premier League season that I can remember for the last how many years now. Bournemouth FC Club de Mixer. Look, I mean, it's more up to you, Will. It's more for you than to me. I mean, you have to present the jersey.
I need this. Yeah.
FC Club de Mixer, do your best. Like I say, it gets very narrow towards the end here now. So it's England versus Italy. I think kind of 8 from one team. So pick the strikers, pick the defenders. It doesn't make much odds.
No.
I think the only thing will be who you make captain. That's the only difference.
Captain's all that matters because unless you pick all one team's defenders, like if England's striker scores, then all your fucking Italian defenders are going to lose points. If the Italian striker, like it's just captain, having who scores the goal, being captain is all that matters.
What's going to happen? I think what could happen if say, look, I think Johnny's probably sitting pretty there in second place. You'd have to have basically the same team, and either you make Sterling captain and he makes Kane captain. Yeah. That's and Sterling gets 2 goals or something like that. And Kane gets nothing.
Either you'd do that, or you'd need to go someone he's not picking captain. Like if you had Bonucci captain and he scores a header or something like that, you'd have to take the risk of being like, because you can't risk having the same captain or it's done.
Like if you'd made Schmeichel captain, he saved the penalty, made like 12 saves.
Yeah.
But like again, it's just there's no way of knowing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I've enjoyed the fantasy league. It goes down to the last day, I suppose, which is good. I mean, it's still possible. It's still possible that there could be an upset. Thoughts then, I suppose, predictions for the final. Well, that's all we have left.
Oh boy, I think Italy will scrape it in a very nervy game. I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough though. Like it's a full Wembley. I think. Remember the start of the Euros, we were like, Hungary don't give a shit about COVID. England do not give a shit about COVID anymore. They're done with it. It's a full stadium.
Yeah, I mean, 19th of July, they're hoping to have it all back to normal, aren't they?
They're
just going to go.
They're scrapping all the rules, yeah. As much as the doctors and scientists are telling them, please don't.
Oh, I mean, I think the cases climb every day in England, but that doesn't matter because it's coming home, Will.
It's coming home, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, again, my heart says Italy. My head, look, 6 games out of 7 at home for England. It's basically been a home tournament for them. They've played very well at times, but yeah, I don't know, man.
It's tough. It's a tired Italy team as well versus an England team that have barely had to move. Like they probably go from their own homes straight to Wembley. They probably walk there.
Yeah, I think the key matchup I think will definitely be in the middle. I'll be interested to see because Southgate has changed this midfield almost every game. The midfield this time was the same as the Ukraine one of Mount in the middle. Like I said, they were under ferocious pressure from the Danes. That's exactly how Italy plays well. You have Verratti and Barella, 2 fucking pit bulls there in the middle.
Yeah.
You have Giorgio at the back controlling it. I think that's going to be the key area. But again, they can bring on Henderson, but they can bring on Locatelli. So they're well matched. I think it's where Italy might fall down is up front. Like I know they have goals in Insignia and Chiesa, but Walker and Shaw have been playing very well on the fullback.
But I will say, it's like when Italy shoot, they don't really miss. Like they have unbelievable finishers everywhere, but it's just getting those chances. Like their midfielders can all score as well.
Yeah,
and especially like with Pickford in goal, like if they do one of their shots that they seem to love doing, it might be a goal. So I don't know. It should be a good game though. I think because it's going to be so nervy anyway that I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be cagey, man. I think it'll be a terrible game, to be honest.
I think it would be if it was like, say, Italy and someone else. I think it'd be a terrible game. But I think because England are involved, I think watching it, it's going to be like edge of your seat, bad game. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, please, no.
And one final tip, I think, if you're an adrenaline junkie, if you like live on the edge, if you like to risk it all, like Rio Ferdinand, just put it all on red every single time, you know, because you saw Rio Ferdinand, it's just like, listen, a broke clock, right, twice a day. He just, every time he says, my night are back, England are going to win. Yeah. And like, you know, I think after the Italy game, they're saying if you were Italy, or if you were England or Denmark, you know, who would you have rather played? You know, Italy or Spain. I mean, I think England beat both of them. I think we'll smash both of them. Doesn't matter. He's fully backed. If you're a Rio Ferdinand type who likes to go all in and damn the expense, I would suggest watching this on English TV. Because if they win, it's going to be so hard to watch. But if they lose, oh baby, that's who that's the payoff.
This has been the thing as well. It's like every time I watch them do analysis, I'm like, oh, I wonder what English pundits they'll have. It's always Roy Keane, and he's always he hasn't had a chance yet to be like, I fucking knew it. I told you.
Yeah.
So that's surely coming if they lose. We get to hear an all-time great Roy Keane, I think.
Do they have it on ITV and BBC, or is it just one
I think it's on both. Yeah, I think the final's on both. And apparently, did you know apparently they like always lose on ITV or something? Like they have a much lower win record when they're
when it's exclusive on ITV. That was what they were worried about the last game, but they overcame that that jinx. Yeah, I don't know, man. It like after that game, I don't know if you heard any commentary afterwards. Like it was just look, we'd be the same. Of course, we'd be the same, but it's and every country is the same. So maybe we shouldn't care so much about it. But yeah, if you really want to, you know, risk it all and hope for some real devastation. Well, I mean, look, I feel it's kind of cheating to switch over to BBC when they lose.
Yeah,
I feel that's kind of me. But I think if you can endure Jermaine Genius for 90 minutes, then
that might have put me off.
then you get to really, you feel like you've earned the pain, you know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm back in Italy. My pick from the start, my dark horse. They've gone all the way.
I hope and pray Italy win, thanks to a blatant dive. That'd just.
Oh, that would be perfect, because then you could just throw the last days back in their face. Go, oh well, I don't care. I actually don't give a fuck about diving.
Streetwise.
Hey, part of the game, boys. Better luck next time. Yeah.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would Chloe say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?